Alrighty, it is Thursday, February 22nd. We are here with another session recap, starting off actually with ES. So we came into the session wanting to see how price was going to trade versus those recent highs, that prior all-time high right through here. Previously, we were looking at an intermediate term range past few weeks, just trading sideways, a fairly wide range, right? Nice tradable range, but nonetheless still sideways, with the near-term context showing a bearish downtrend if we look at the prior few sessions. Now into the close yesterday, we do see that rally on the back of NVIDIA earnings, shows the nice continuation that triggers the change in character. Now, like I mentioned this morning, and like we've talked about before, anytime you have a change in character, where you want to be targeting is that most recent structural high. In this case, that was pretty much the all-time high, the 50-60, 50-66 area. So that's exactly where price tested, which brings us into the regular trading hours open, where price is just kind of oscillating right there near that 50-66. So it is a challenging location given the magnitude of the move, but we know that buyers have taken control of the tape following that downtrend, and pretty much all we want to do when we come in today's session is see how that 50-66 is treated, and that's what I was talking about this morning. And so essentially what we have early on in the sesh, you have a bit of a blip lower that just gets almost into that 50-50 downside level of interest. VWAP is right there as well. Buyers are looking for that first opportunity to jump in, right? So we see buyers step in pretty heavily there versus VWAP versus that 50-50 level of interest, triggering the daily breakout. Now, one of the things I had mentioned this morning that we really wanted to see is if this daily breakout was triggered, if price showed acceptance above that daily breakout point. I posted a voice note after 10 a.m. saying to keep an eye on this 50-66 area. Buyers want to see price holding above that 50-66. That is exactly what we saw. A couple of great long entries versus that prior breakout point. So essentially, textbook type of action here. You have the breakout. Price comes and retests the breakout point. There's your entry. You even have a re-entry right through here. And from there, it's pretty much off to the races up into the 50-75 and 50-100 upside levels of interest. So overall, textbook action today. Very, very good action. This is what we like to see with this type of setup. Now, as far as moving forward, what are we looking at for Friday, tomorrow? There is no economic data. It will be, I'm imagining, a bit of a slower session following today's trend day. I talk about this frequently, but generally speaking, when we have big volatility expansion moves like this, starting pretty much yesterday power hour all the way into the close overnight as well, and then throughout today's session, we need that volatility contraction move. We need a bit of a breather. So I'm fully expecting for tomorrow to be an inside day, meaning the bulk of tomorrow's action will trade within today's range. Now, buyers are not in trouble unless this 50-66 area fails to hold. So that's going to be a major level moving forward. I'm going to be looking primarily at the action versus 5100 tomorrow and maybe 50-66 if we end up getting that retest there, but fully expecting tomorrow's action to pretty much just trade within today's range, expecting a quieter session. So don't come into tomorrow guns blazing. You want to be taking it slow, looking for that volatility contraction type of move. So look at this vertical action. Let's see how many points this is. About 150 points, right? 3% move starting yesterday power hour. So pretty extreme. Time for a breather. So if you've had a good week, definitely do not want to come into tomorrow guns blazing. If you had a tough week, definitely tomorrow is not the day to be attempting to recover, right? We'll be looking at the levels, seeing how price trades versus the levels, and definitely double checking that volume. You could start to see some exhaustion here on that hourly chart. So no real surprise there. Now, as far as NQ, a little bit different, right? NQ this morning, we were talking about same change in character, same pretty much range bound type of intermediate structure. Now, the difference here was that at the regular trading hours open, which I believe was right near the 17,900 area, price had not yet hit that upside target, which was right here. That was discussed in the pre-market live. You could go back and watch that if you missed it, but that's going to be the first target zone again for this change in character move. So once that 17,900 was holding and we had proof that buyers were stepping in, essentially you want to be looking for the long. You really do not want to be, at least I don't personally want to be grabbing the short, especially with how aggressive the buyers have shown to be over not only the past few, essentially few hours, including yesterday's power hour session, but zoom out, right? From November, is essentially each pullback getting very aggressively bought. Now we're back into the high. So keep the context in mind. As far as what we're looking at for tomorrow in NQ, I'm going to primarily be looking at this 18K zone, 18K, 1830. You could see the blue area right through here on the chart. I want to see if buyers can kind of defend this level to show a real test of the all-time high at 18,121. So that's going to be the main watch for tomorrow on NQ. Setup is a little bit trickier here considering price is now trading up into, a known area of resistance. So if you are, thinking, I'm going to grab a long here, well, make sure your entries are really good. Make sure you have strong confirmation because this is a known area of resistance. And again, NQ showing that exhaustion right there into the close for today. So we'll see if that's a bit of profit taking or if some sellers are kind of starting to nibble some action here. We'll see what the morning looks like. NQ, very similar to ES in that most likely going to see that inside day tomorrow. I mean, look at the range of today's action, 216 points. Okay, now if you include the overnight action, if you include the true open of NQ, we're talking about a 2 ATR move. So the index does not frequently do a 2 ATR move. Alrighty. So I just mentioned that for expectation management because I know a lot of traders see this type of action. They see the trend day. They think it's just going to continue higher. They'll get too aggressive being short, and then price just ends up posting, a tight range inside day. And it's not a good time if you're not expecting that. So there's your warning. As far as individual names, I do like AMD for the potential daily breakout here. Going to be treating this just purely as a technical setup. It did have good volume today on the back of NVIDIA earnings. So we'll be looking for the daily breakout there. And then NVIDIA, of course, will be on watch as well. Phenomenal action today. We're looking to see if those prior highs could hold. Right there, 746. Nearly perfectly marked the session low. Right, quick move into PT1, did not quite get there into PT2, but some good continuation in the afternoon. A nice pullback to VWAP, phenomenal setup right through there. Overall, great action. Looking for the second day play here in NVIDIA up into 800 plus. So hope everyone had a great session. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a DM in the Traders Think Tank. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow morning for the pre-market prep live stream. Have a great evening. Later.